So what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to talk about Alibaba. It's been a while, maybe beginning of September, of when we did our price prediction in Alibaba. The market exceeded our expectations, which is cool. It's always good to see price exceed where you expect it to go, especially when you sit on the right side. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about why we suspect that this stock is still bullish, why the stock is still being controlled by buyers. Okay, so if today your first day ever see my videos and content, I want to say welcome, because we're giving you all a different perspective of how to look at the market. One of the biggest things is that we are seeing, when we look at price bars and volume, we are noticing everyone's best. Nobody is trying to do their worst when it comes to stocks. Nobody. So every time a price bar is printed, every time a volume bar is printed, we are getting the best information available anywhere. So whether or not we have Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Citi, JP Morgan Chase, other hedge funds, Ray Dalio, Citadel, algo firms, it really doesn't matter, because everybody is putting their best in the game. Nobody is trying to do their worst when it comes to stocks. Nobody. So for us, we can transfer that to our benefit. We can use that as an edge if we're able to distinguish what these price bars and volume mean. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. This is why we do what we do, is to show you that since they are putting their best out on the field to play, we have our edge if we can distinguish what they're trying to do. What are these players trying to do? Are they trying to move the price up or down? Because charts can't lie. When people put their best player on the field to play the game, they have all intents to win. And with that intention is where we have our edge. So now let's go ahead and talk about Alibaba, because that's how we were able to predict the market on our last price prediction, that the market was due to go higher, because the people who were playing this game told us that. We saw the information of where they wanted to take price. That was 16.47% right there on September the 16th. Now, you can do it too. You just have to continue to read and listen and watch this content, because you're not going to see this anywhere else. I've been doing this for years, and nobody is out here putting price predictions on charts. Let's get rid of that. Now, we will also get rid of these sell pockets here for Alibaba, because those sellers ultimately did not show up now. They changed their mind as to whether or not they was going to sell, but we're going to add sell points up here though. Okay. So now we're going to talk about why we think this stock is still bullish and aiming for higher prices. The biggest reason, if you don't see it right now in front of you, I got you. I'm going to show you, because you need to see this on every other chart. These things happen on every market, every chart in the world. You'll see it. And one of the biggest causes to show you that, hey, that was a trick. They was trying to fake me, to trick me into thinking that stock was going to go down. If you don't know where it is, here it is right here. Right there. Something is going on in this area. Okay, we were like detectives. We need to inspect this area. So what's going on right here? What do you think is happening when the market in Alibaba, when I say market, I'm talking about the price, when price came to $160? What happened? Because on October the 10th, the market was down 8.45%, right? Yes. That was a day to where people were fearful. People was trying to sell out of this stock. Now, true fear, you will see a continuation. You'll see the next day, the market price continue to go down. The only way that that cannot happen is if people are buying the stock. See, I'm not using some fancy algorithm. I don't have $100 trillion at my disposal, but I can tell what's going on behind these price bars and volume. So when you see this, when the next day, Alibaba right here was up 5%, then what occurred on the prior day wasn't all selling. Look at all of the volume that came into the market on October the 10th. All of this volume, and you're trying to tell me that the next day the market was up? What could cause that? Do you know? Because if you don't, I got the answer for you. And it's buyers. Those are the only people who can stop price from going lower. So this whole area is where buyers are. Because even on the 14th of October, why didn't the price go lower than that pocket? What about on the 17th of October? Why didn't the price go lower than that pocket? Because we got people here invested, meaning that they don't want to see price in Alibaba go below this point, because if they do, then they will be losing in their position. Again, people aren't trying to lose. They want to win. And if they see price coming down to the pocket, they're getting nervous because they see their positions dwindling in profit. And eventually it might go negative. They don't want that to happen. So they come in and buy more and buy more, to where today the market in Alibaba was up almost 4% again. So this is important. This is the reason why we suspect that this stock still has some room to go up higher. Now, we established that. The question though is, how high will it go? Right? We need to figure that out. Do you think Baba has a big ways to go? This is Alibaba on the 3. Look at what happened on the 3-day time frame. You can see even buyers here on the 3-day bar, because price traded all the way down to a low of $157.25, but it closed. The buyers lifted the price to close it at $166.81. This is buyers working when price trades at the low, but then they lift price to close mid-bar. These are buyers working to lift price away from their investments. Here's the current 3-day price bar. The market started at the bottom of that buy pocket at the low of the bar, and the buyers lifted it all the way up here towards the high. That again gives you buying. That's what buying looks like. So now we need to figure out though, somewhere in this area is where these sellers are. They're lurking in the background, just waiting for this price to move up to where they can attack and pounce on price and lower it back down. Everybody has an agenda. Sellers don't want to lose. Buyers don't want to lose neither, right? Now, here it is on the weekly chart. The longer out in time you go, the bigger the idea is of what people are trying to do. Okay, so right here on this weekly price bar, this was emphatic weakness. This is definitely an idea that this stock should go down after it was printed, but it didn't. It went back up instead. And look at this. The crazy part is that the volume on both of these weeks, look at it down here, it's about the same. Then why is the spread on the weekly price bar from October the 13th a lot smaller? than the prior week from October the 6th. Do you see what I'm dropping? Do you see what the market is actually speaking and showing us? Because if you do, you are on your way to seeing the market totally different and predicting where prices are going to go. Nobody else is doing this. So once you pick this up, you will be able to go on your own and participate with all of these other people who have access to trillions of dollars, who have access to the smartest people on Wall Street. You're competing against them, and this is all that we need. That is powerful. Don't let nobody come in here and try to dissuade you to think that this game cannot be won, because it absolutely can. So this confirms to us that those people on Wall Street, they was buying this stock up. Somebody still thinks that this stock has more room to go up. They're showing it to us in our face. And I will even say that again once this 2-weekly price bar prints right here. But we got 3 days and 21 hours, so anything can still go. But this is pretty much another hint that these buyers are still in control of this stock. Okay. So now let's try to figure out, first of all, if these sellers are going to impact the price on the hourly chart. Okay, so this is Alibaba on the 11-hour chart. You can see where the buyers came in a little bit in more detail. Okay, so the market still looks pretty strong, specifically on these two 11-hour bars, this one and this one. Here it is on the 5-hour chart. I still like what I'm seeing. We may get sellers to hit the stock right here though. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put a sell there, sell pocket. And I see another one right here, just in case. So as this stock is giving us some strength, it is very bullish. Alibaba is looking pretty bullish because the buyers eradicated the sellers that were right here. They finally broke through that sell pocket. So the market is still in favor of the buyers. Okay. And since they did that, we can actually create a pocket of buying right there for us as a reference point. Let's look at this on the 3. I still like it. Alibaba on the 1-hour chart still looks pretty good. Fantastic move today. Here it is on the 330. So yeah, I'm still looking for the stock to go up in price. So we're going to go ahead and drop this on the chart. And also, you know, for our perspective, it tells us when we may need to let go of a prediction, of a forecast, because we don't want to stay in this prediction, this forecast, if these buyers left this pocket. So we are going to place the stop a little bit below this initial stage where buyers came in. If they're not here to buy the stock, then there's nothing else in this area that's going to keep the market from going lower. Nothing. So if they left stage right, then we need to do the same thing. So not only are we able to have an idea of where we suspect prices to go, we can also know when it may be time for us to leave and move on to another opportunity. So yeah, we'll hold that there. And then we're going to target these pockets right here. Okay. Now, I don't think that first sell pocket is a big problem. So we'll try to target the second one around 181.50 to 183.49, which is 5 3/4. They're going to try to target 190, which is 9.19%, all the way up there to 194 or so, which is 11 3/4. Now, what we need to do, if this market is still massively bullish in Alibaba, is to come all the way over here and create areas that we think sellers will be. So let's try to do that now. So here's a sell pocket here. Here's a big sell pocket right there. Let's go ahead and do one here. And there's another one right around here. So we're already set, because needless to say, even though this sell pocket was created in 2021, like 4 years ago, people are still sitting here waiting to sell again. So we're going to go ahead and add these just as a reference points. If this stock continues to be bullish, we'll have other targets that we will want to see in Alibaba run towards. So you can see that the next one would be around 200. All right, so that is it. I'm done. Make sure you maintain profit, and as always, trade different, because that is where your edge is.